Bears fans, YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Bears Fans Talk. Johnny CMD here as always with the main event, Kevin Haggerty. And Kevin, how you doing today? Let's start with that. You know, I feel like I don't check in enough.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks for asking, dude. I'm doing pretty good. Got the two babies, so been rocking and rolling with that. Playoff football. My wife still is amazed that football's on every single night of the week still, and I keep telling her cherish it because it's going away very soon.
You know what? It's like to the point, you know, you really start to fall in the rhythms as you get into your 30s of the way things go. In that period, like in the summer where there's nothing about baseball, absolutely brutal.
Dude,
I mean, at least for like after the Super Bowl, we have some times where we can watch some hockey. We can tend to be friends of that, maybe basketball.
Yeah.
But then when it's nothing but baseball, it's brutal.
Here's the thing, it was this nice weather, but because right now, like even in your, we'll plug your Instagram in a minute, but it was so cold today. Like I was walking outside and I'm just like, this is miserable.
Yeah, 100%. But you know what? But then it's like you enjoy the nice weather, but then you're sitting down, you just got done dinner, you put the kids down, and you want to put something on TV.
Yeah.
And I'm just not like a movie or a TV show guy. I just kind of want to zone out to a sports game. That's really what I'm looking at here.
So your father used to do all the time.
Oh, 100%.
Your father, every time I'd come over, your dad would be watching like a Cubs or the Sox game or the Bulls or the Hawks. Every time I came over, he loved that. So not surprised.
But anyway, if you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe. Up to 110 subscribers, and we're also going to plug the Instagram, which we're trying to get a little bit more into. Yeah. So Bears_fans_talk.
Let's go.
Give us a like. Yeah. Posting a couple reels out there.
Johnny's got good aura on with the Snapchat.
Thank you.
Not the Snapchat, with the Instagram reels.
Instagram, yeah.
I was trying to do one today to because you spoke at me, literally says Kevin Bears fans, and I was literally gonna be Johnny Bears fans, right back, but it gets dark, I got off the train at 5:05, and
Kevin, you don't gotta put yourself. No one's accusing you of anything. You don't gotta put yourself on blast here.
I gotta do better too, though, and I recognize that. All right. So, but good job. I like it.
So, please like the podcast. Yeah. Follow us on whatever social medias. Give us some support, especially for this off season. You know, we're gonna continue to make these weekly videos as much as we can. Yeah. But anyway, the main topic of this video, we're gonna talk about the playoff weekend. Maybe talk about the fact that it's Monday night when we're recording this. I just cashed a pretty nice bet on the T.J. Hawkinson over.
Yeah, you did.
That game is pretty much decided. We'll get there. But the main focus of today's video is things are really starting to heat up in the head coaching war of 2025, as I have so called it.
Sure.
So today, the biggest bombshell dropped. It was today, right?
No, I think it was 2 days ago.
Was it really 2 days ago? Man, I'm way behind then.
I think it was Saturday or Sunday that it dropped.
Mike Vrabel officially signed with the New England Patriots. It seems like the writing had been on the wall for the longest period of time. It seems like one of those situations where Vrabel was just like, that's probably just where I want to be.
I just don't understand why he didn't sign with them immediately. It felt kind of like the OJ Mayo hire was kind of BS. You hire him for 1 year,
Jared Mayo?
Jared Mayo, sorry. OJ Mayo was the other guy. He was actually, I think he was a basketball player, actually, that went to USC. Jared Mayo was just kind of a BS kind of hire. In what situation, in what world do you give a head coach 1 year? After they just picked in the top, they had the third overall pick last year. How much better do you really think they're going to be? They even gave Antonio Pierce 2 years.
I'm not going to pretend to be privy to the situation that was going on. I think that they probably had
they wanted Vrabel the whole time.
I think they had a sentiment. Why didn't they take him last year?
I don't know.
Vrabel's been around. I think the sentiment was I think they were under the impression that Bill Belichick had coached this guy up. He had the pedigree and the mentorship, and then they kind of saw it throughout the course of the season that it just did not take off. And as opposed to putzing around for another year with a rookie, potentially franchise quarterback, I think probably making a splash and making a move. So I think they probably gave this guy a fair shake, but it just didn't play out.
I will say though, I think they won week 1 or week 2 of the playoffs, and that was before
Drake May did not start.
He did not start. That was Jacoby Brissett was playing quarterback, and Jacoby Brissett I think went to NC State.
Rolling losses. Was that what it was? No, Jacoby Brissett. The commercial. We were just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other guy?
Yeah, what did he say? That was Jacoby.
That was
Jacoby Brissett.
Carryover losses.
Love those commercials.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay, but
no. So, anyways, I think he went to NC State. They were playing whatever school that Jared Mayo went to, and then the school won. Anyways, in a press conference, Jacoby Brissett had to put on the jersey. Like and it looked like they were having fun. Is
Okay.
what I'm saying, and like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought like, oh, maybe he's got something cooking. Proceeds to go on to lose like literally the next 10 games. So like obviously had nothing.
Not
cooking.
literally. I don't think anybody had the losing streak that the Bears did.
True. True.
They're not. They ended up with 4 or 5 wins.
4 wins because they won the last week of the season to move themselves out of the
Yes.
number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
Which is absurd.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Mike Vrabel goes there, and
As you said in the thing, that was my number 1.
that was your
pick.
guy.
And like, there's a reason that he was locked up first, like this early of all the. I'm just saying, my response was, I'm sure Mike Vrabel is going to go on to have a very long, luxurious career with the Patriots, and he's going to be there for a decade.
So I've heard talk that the Bears interviewed him via Zoom. How do you feel about that?
Fucking trash.
Probably trash.
I mean,
why do you think they did that?
Probably because they didn't want to pay the money to fly him out.
I don't think we talked about this. The last regime did that for Quinn.
Well, they flew him out, coach seat, middle seat.
But you know what? I think Kevin Warren does things.
I'm being a nasty.
You could be right. No, you're not answering because there's precedent for what you just said. And I don't like the idea of like you're seriously considering somebody doing something that way.
No.
I think that they probably should have flown him out, but I'm also wondering if like
They already knew it was in the bag.
They knew it was in the bag for the Patriots. They knew that he wasn't their number 1 guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think that you probably fly him out and just kind of do your due diligence.
Dude.
Do your due diligence there.
This is like a multi-billion-dollar organization. You're gonna rely this is big money. Like this is not a small. It's not like you're hiring for a cashier or a bag boy.
Yeah.
This is a head coach of your football team.
Yeah.
Like you gotta fly him out there. You're gonna take him out to dinner. Like I'm even like having Caleb come out to dinner. Like.
Yeah.
It's a multi-day come to the facilities
and you wonder if like so much
overnight, bring the family.
Yeah.
That's how I would run it personally. Like, I would like bring your family, make sure it's a fit.
Yeah, so I mean, but it seems like the Bears are kind of doing the opposite approach. It's just like casting a wide net, which I'm not in fan of that approach. Though I do think Mike Vrabel was probably always going to the Patriots. It kind of makes sense. Like Vrabel's thing is like he's got this presence. He's got like the no nonsense approach. He walks in and kind of like hopefully will be able to control a locker room. And I think that jives with the Patriots culture post Bill Belichick, and maybe that's what they're looking for.
It jives with what Robert Kraft wants.
I would say so. Yeah.
Robert Kraft is very much about that, right? And like I think if he's gonna lose, wants to lose the Patriots way.
Yeah. So I do think it's disappointing. What I will say is I'm just not entirely sold on this type of, like a defensive-minded guy again. You know who's going to be really happy about the fact that this guy's already locked up is Papa Williams and Papa Adunze.
Yeah.
Not having to deal with a defensive guy, probably.
The other thing, too, is Mike Vrabel's only 49 years old. When I say only,
You say only, I mean,
but like when we're looking,
that's average.
But some of these other coaches we're looking at, like they're collecting Social Security.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Like he's another 15 years away from collecting Social Security. Is all I'm saying. Like he's no Mike McVay or Sean McVay at 30. But.
So another interesting headline this week: Mike McCarthy.
Yes.
Just a couple of days after the Cowboys refused to let the Bears interview him because he was still locked up in some sort of contract, they decided to mutually part ways.
Yeah.
Interesting for 2 reasons.
Yeah.
One, the fact that the Cowboys didn't do this earlier. Are they behind? Now they can't interview Ben Johnson because they can't interview him like outside the bye week. They lost the opportunity to talk with Mike Vrabel. So that's that kind of puts the Cowboys at a disadvantage. 2, does this new head coaching vacancy change the tier of job availabilities right now? So a lot of people put the Bears in the number 1 spot. Jacksonville being up there too. I think the Patriots were probably the easy 1, 2, 3. The other ones out there, the Saints and the Raiders and the Jets. Saints, Raiders, Jets. Those are the other 3.
Yeah, Giants are keeping Dable.
Yeah. So Jets, Saints, Raiders. All 3 trash organizations. All 3 organizations without a quarterback. All 3 organizations who don't really seem to know what they're doing right now and have no real like stopgap in the situation. But now you got the Cowboys out there with head coaching vacancy.
Yeah.
say what you want about Dak Prescott. I still believe that he's going to be
a great organization.
I think he's going to be the guy going forward for the years. They have some real bona fide offensive weapons. They have CeeDee Lamb. They got people on defense. They got Micah Parsons. I think that the Cowboys just kind of like some wrench got thrown in the system and they had a bad year, but I don't think they're a bad team.
But the Cowboys are also like America's football team. Like it's a good job. Actually, I heard a little rumor out there. Do you want to take a guess who it is?
A rumor for this
Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
I'll give you a hint.
Who?
He's in college.
Oh, Sanders.
Yep.
Yes.
Deion.
Yeah. So
Which would be
that'd be fun to see.
a very good fit for Deion Sanders and the Cowboys. It's like a match made in heaven.
I'm not willing to entertain any of these guys who haven't really formally put themselves out in the ring as I'm looking. Because
Deion seems like the type of guy that doesn't do that. Deion seems like the type of guy that's like,
make me a good offer and I'll come.
yes,
I get that.
he's like show me the money and like Jerry Maguire is.
I don't know. I just think Deion Sanders got such a cool hip thing going on with Colorado.
Did you see his thing of what the rules he's instituting?
Yeah.
Did you get D's and F's?
No slides, no tank tops.
We're docking your pay.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff coming. Like he genuinely cares about these guys.
Yeah, I'll say yes. I'll say I agree with that. Devil's advocate, just being like, hey, now we have more leverage over our players now that we're paying them. We actually get to control what they do a little bit more.
But he cares about school at least.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I mean, whether he's doing it for the cameras or not, like it actually legitimately seems like. He seems like a good role model and a good advocate in the community.
I will say that he is not when he initially started popping up, I kind of equated him to the Ball family.
Me too. That's a great count.
I do feel like there's been a little bit more class and a little bit less annoyance associated with it.
Yeah, so. I thought he was all flash, just like this. But the stuff I'm seeing.
And Shedeur Sanders seems like he's actually pretty good.
But maybe not number one overall good, but I'm just saying, he seems like a legit class act, which is completely a surprise for me, given, he played when we were too young to really watch, but, when your name's, Neon Deion, prime time, you expect to have a wide receiver mentality.
Yeah.
Give me the damn ball, Keyshawn.
Yeah, but, I think a lot goes into, to taking a program like Colorado, who's just, never been any sort of, so, I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
See you buffs.
That being said, the Bears are going to interview Mike McCarthy. And you know what? I wonder, this feels like a Bears move. It feels like McCarthy is a safe, quiet guy with experience.
John, that's fine. I'm just going to, I was feeling the same way, but I'm
not saying I want it, but I'm saying that don't be surprised. 3 weeks from now, we're sitting right here being and the new head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Let me just go through some of these records with you when he was in Green Bay. First season, 8-8. Second season, 13-3.
Yeah.
Lost in the NFC Championship. 6-10. Then 11-5. Then 10-6. Won the Super Bowl. 15-1. 11-5 playoffs. 8-7 playoffs. 12-4 playoffs. 10-6 playoffs. 10-6 playoffs. Now you want to say those are Aaron Rodgers years? Fine, whatever. Then he had 7-9, 4-7, got 5, whatever. Then comes to Dallas. Year 1, 6-10. Year 2, 12-5. Year 3, 12-5. Year 4,
12-5.
12-5.
Yeah.
And then he just got fired 7-10, and Dak got hurt.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he is a good coach. I didn't realize he was that good. I thought he was a layup too, but this is pretty good. That's a proven dude. John,
he's a proven guy.
John, this is what I want.
I did not think that you were going to be so all in like Mike McCarthy, because I just feel like he is the vanilla option.
I agree, but John, that's what I want. I'm out on coordinators. I'm out. We did this with Nagy. We did this with Flus, and the best one is Trestman. We did it with Trestman.
Yeah.
Okay. I am out on coordinators. I want a guy who's a previous head coach.
It does feel like you're just kind of playing blackjack with these coordinators at the same time. But at the same time, what you're saying here is you can't just say you can say it was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Mike McCarthy has never been in charge of building something. He has never been at an organization that's at the bedrock. And then had to
do you think
build
the Bears
a team.
Are at the bedrock?
Or we are pretty close.
Or do you think that they need we talked about this before about leadership?
Yes.
And that's what I think all these pros are unbelievable.
But is that what Mike McCarthy is? Like, he just seems like such an uninspiring guy when I'm watching him on the sideline.
Agreed, but you don't. But like, what about Andy Reid?
There's something about Andy Reid.
What's Andy Reid's aura?
There's something.
Andy Reid's aura is he eats chicken before games.
There's something about Andy Reid, though.
Like a KFC jumbo bucket, the homie eats it. That's his aura.
But I just think Andy Reid, I think his thing is he's just like, Andy Reid is the X's and O's, because I think he just like knows the game super, super well. And maybe that's Mike McCarthy too.
I mean, he kind of gives me a little Andy Reid vibes.
I'm not going to quit the podcast if we sign Mike McCarthy.
I would
have,
but I have changed my mind that Vrabel's off the market. This is my number one candidate. This is my number one candidate.
Okay.
Hands down, this is who I want.
We're bookmarking it. Okay.
I want him
right now.
But but John, why do I want him? I want you to tell me why I want him.
Because he's a proven guy who has shown that he can be a coach.
And he can come in and provide stability to the organization, which we need more than anything.
Okay, so why did Jerry Jones let him walk?
Because of Deion. That's why he rejected. That's why he said no initially. Okay, that's what he's like. No, we're keeping Mike McCarthy, and then he picks up the phone and he calls Deion primetime, and he's like, "Yeah, make me the right offer, guy." I wouldn't be surprised if we hear before the next week, before the championship round, the divisional round of playoffs, that Deion is the new head coach for the Dallas Packers.
My bigger concern, and that brings us to our next candidate, is Ben Johnson, and is this a better landing spot for Ben Johnson than the Chicago Bears? Because in my mind, if we didn't land Vrabel, if we don't land Ben Johnson, I'm going from here to here.
Yeah.
Everything else after that, just in terms of just like the Bears' ability to get the guy they want.
Yeah.
That being said, McCarthy could be the guy they want. I think, what I want to see is the Bears being like, this is our guy.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing what it takes to win. I think that at least
go all in.
Yeah, at least and so far we've just not seen that. We've seen us interview over a dozen guys. Some ways don't make any sense.
Keeping their options open.
And last week I did say that there is some validity to that, but it also does concern me a little bit, because I would just like the Bears to say, this is our guy. We're going for him.
So here's the other thing too that I was trying to look up before was Mike McCarthy's contract. Because my personal fear is that Mike McCarthy is going to cost a little bit too much money.
I mean, could be.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, a guy who's coached this long in the NFL.
I don't care. That's coming out of the Bears' pocket. It's not going into the salary cap. I don't give a fuck.
But I'm just
how much.
But I think the Bears, like Jeff Dahlberg, a guy who's been a guest on the podcast before, has brought up before, the reason the Bears have made hires that they've made before is because they're cheap.
Yeah. I'm hoping Kevin Warren breaks that cycle. And I've heard from some, listening to the radio and their sources, they have said the Bears are not going to be, price is not going to be the rate limiting factor.
Then go all in on someone. Yeah. I mean, once you make your decision, let's eliminate some of these BS candidates, is what I'm saying. And I think it's Mike McCarthy, it's Ben Johnson, and we have Pete Carroll and Cliff Kingsbury. Those are, in my opinion, Cliff Kingsbury's like the way I feel about it. So say Mike McCarthy goes to the Jags, right? And then Ben Johnson goes to the Jets or whatever, right? And Pete Carroll decides he literally wants to be a great grandpa, as he should be, right? Like, that's a joke if you didn't get the great grandpa joke. I hope you liked it.
Well, I mean, sure.
Last person's Cliff Kingsbury in the list. And other than that, there's no one else that there should even be considered, in my opinion. Ben Johnson's got a game. He's not going to be interviewing yet, which is a problem, I think.
No, he interviewed with Bears. It happened. It happened on Saturday.
Did they Zoom him?
I don't know if it was in person or if it was in Zoom.
Did they Zoom him?
Let's see here.
John.
I've heard some. I don't know if they Zoomed him or not. I know some people. Bears blog says he wants to be. So this is sports mockery. So basically, you've heard people have tied him to the Jags. You're saying that the Raiders are making a big push.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think this makes the most. I think Chicago makes the most sense for Ben Johnson, and that's what I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping that they can, if they invest in the offensive line, they can get something going like they did. Because you know what, Ben Johnson, I do think has been a part of building something. I think he did have a huge stake in building that offense in Detroit, and turning that around and turning Jared Goff into not a Sam Darnold. kind of flash in the pan like we saw tonight. But in somebody who was, I kept on waiting for like the same thing to happen to Sam Darnold as what happened to Jared Goff. I was sitting here just being like, any day now people are going to realize Jared Goff is Jared Goff, but that is just not.
Well, Jared Goff, he also went to the Super Bowl. Jared Goff did, so let's chill out on that. And he was a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, but like he got traded for Matt Stafford for a reason, and then that same team ended up winning a Super Bowl that year for a reason.
Well, yeah, because Matthew Stafford is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Like he didn't even need the Super Bowl. He was a first ballot Hall of Famer. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, no, I think to be a Super Bowl Hall of Famer, I think
before the Super Bowl,
I don't think he's first ballot. I guess I'd have to look at his all-time numbers.
He was the first quarterback to like start putting up video game numbers. Partly because Detroit was down so many games and he got a lot of garbage time, but he was throwing for like 450 on the reg.
You can make the arguments, but
he had Megatron for all those years too. He had some gaudy stats.
He did. But he also threw a lot of picks. He didn't have a lot of playoffs. He didn't have any playoff success. I think he went to 1 playoff game in Detroit.
Because he was in Detroit.
Yeah, and I think that hinders you.
He's the first ballot offer. Anyways, all right, so here's the thing. Ben Johnson, I'm cool with Ben Johnson. I think Mike McCarthy's my new number 1.
Okay.
And the point that I'm trying to prove to you is like Ben Johnson is not my number 1. I do not want coordinators.
Okay.
I do not want a coordinator.
I understand the idea of knowing what you get. And maybe it's a fallacy.
Do you want to gamble?
The boat is anything, but the box could be a box. Maybe I'm no. The box can be anything, but a boat is a boat. Yeah, like that's kind of the thinking that I'm falling into, because like
I'm not trying to fuck this up, Johnny. I want to win, and I want someone that I want consistent. And it's not even being conservative. It's me watching the Bears botch this for years and years and years and years, and it's like we finally have a quarterback and the tools, and our window is this small. Let's get it right and get someone that can get in. And we know he's won a Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl.
17 years ago now.
No, it's not 17 years ago.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. No, 15.
14.
15.
2010.
15 years. 15 years.
Not 17.
Sorry. Sorry, I got, because I know exactly when it was. It's when they beat the Bears in the NFC Championship and Jay Cutler went out, and that was 2010.
It was 2010.
I believe that was the last time the Bears had won a playoff game.
And who did he beat?
Who did he beat? Oh, in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I do not know. Who did he beat?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Roethlisberger?
Yeah. The rumor is that Tomlin's in the hot seat again.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. You know what? Fuck all these guys, Tomlin.
I take Tomlin.
Here's a good compromise between me and you, Tomlin.
I'll take Tomlin.
Yes.
I'll take Tomlin. I'll take Tomlin.
They'll never get rid of him. They'll never do it.
They're actually upset.
They took Russell Wilson, who got thrown out of Denver, and brought him to the playoffs.
So Mike Tomlin, he's like literally lost like 5 straight seasons, like in the first round of the playoffs, and like hasn't even been close.
But like, he's had nobody.
What if he just
Kenny Pickett was a bust? Russell Wilson played fine, but he's not the agency.
What if he just wants out of Pittsburgh?
That could be. I mean, that's a fair thing. Just mutually decided to part ways. Like Mike Tom has been like, I've gotten nothing from this organization.
I've literally
since Ben has left, I've just been like willing,
yes,
like
willing them to the playoffs.
And maybe that's putting too much on him.
But to your Instagram though, do you think like Mike Tomlin's too caters to millennials too much? Like
that was just a good.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I bet he's a hard coach.
Well, no, because he's still winning seasons. He's winning with less than the Bears have.
With older quarterback, like with Russ Wilson. Russ Wilson is the type of guy who responds well to like
Justin Fields. Justin Fields won 3-1, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd be interested. I think we could both agree on Tomlin. If Tomlin gets released, it's a pipe dream. If the Bears don't literally they don't even have to interview him. They should just be like, he gets released. They should just send him a check. Send him a check and be like, welcome, you're the new Bears.
This is Caleb Williams' cell phone number. Please call.
Did you see that, by the way?
No, what?
Oh, dude.
What?
There's a video of these kids that pranked Caleb Williams.
No, what was this?
Dude, they said he was Ben Johnson, and he said he just got hired to be Chicago Bears.
Oh, I saw a headline that Caleb Williams got tricked.
Yeah.
So some guy pretending to be Ben Johnson
Dude,
called
some
Caleb
like
Williams.
14, 16-year-old kids at a sleepover did it.
How the hell did they call him?
Dude, they texted him like, "Hey, it's Ben Johnson. I want you to be the first to know I'm taking the job of the Chicago Bears head coach."
All right,
Dude, you didn't see this?
Excuse the googling for a second, people, but I want to know how legit this is.
Dude,
Caleb
it's legit.
Williams tricked by
Just Ben Johnson. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna come up.
Caleb Williams tricked. Okay, New York Post. Okay, Yahoo Sports.
Go ahead, look it up.
Caleb Williams got pranked by a fake Ben Johnson in hilarious video.
We got to see the texts.
Okay, well here's the video.
Got it? Hey, Caleb, it's me, Ben Johnson.
Come to the Dolphins, bro.
No, shut up, shut up.
You got to see the texts beforehand.
But I'm so glad that you're gonna get a new head coach. I don't know if it's Ben
Who
Johnson.
the fuck is this kid?
Dude, they're like high schoolers.
But how does he? Okay, and Caleb didn't even hang up. This isn't Caleb
Hey,
Williams.
the nails are tough.
It's not Caleb Williams.
You're a goat, bro. You're a goat.
Dude, they're high schoolers.
But like that didn't look like Caleb Williams.
It is Caleb Williams. Go down and you got to see the text messages first. The reason why Caleb responded was because it was like, don't go on Yahoo.
And you're thinking that's possible if you should. And okay, well, okay.
Go to New York Post. Check
Yeah.
it. There it is, right there. Hey Ben, it's Caleb. The New York Post one. I can't believe you didn't see
Tricked
it.
into thinking Ben Johnson. Oh, God. Oh my God, New York Post is such trash. Where are the damn texts?
Yeah.
Hey Caleb, this is Ben Johnson. Just wanted to reach out ahead of time before it gets released to the media. I will be taking the HC job. Very excited to work with you in the future. Great things. Actually, Ben, says Caleb. Yes, I wanted you to be the first to know. We will talk more as the season winds down. Okay, cool. Sounds good. I'm definitely excited for the future. Let's get this shit going and turn it around and do what hasn't been done in years. In the meantime, fucking go kill. We'll talk soon.
And then they FaceTimed him after. And then that's the FaceTime.
Johnson hadn't even interviewed with the Bears yet. I don't.
Dude.
Okay.
That was.
But no one even wants to who were these people?
They're high school kids. And how did
Kevin,
they-
you keep saying that, but how do they have his number? I don't care. They're high school kids. Like, how would they have had his number? First of all, like I don't know. That kind of looked like Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams,
No,
unless
it's Caleb.
did he buzz his hair completely after, like right after the season ended? Because he had long hair, like when
Dude,
the season ended.
It's Caleb.
I'm skeptical, but anyway, whatever. Neither here nor there.
It's not a good look.
Whatever. All right, so moving on to two ridiculous additions to this list that you maybe add on here is Pete Carroll.
Yep. Which I'm gonna say again. Like, come in and groom someone for. I said it last week. I'm gonna say it again. I think one of the commenters in the reel said the same thing.
Said bring Pete Carroll and try and get one of these guys like Cliff Kingsbury to come and be the offensive coordinator, which won't happen.
And groom them.
But I do like the idea, like some other young, maybe like a college like offensive coordinator or someone who
Take the guy from Iowa State. That's how you bring in the guy from Iowa State.
I'd be on board with that plan.
And I said that last week.
Potentially.
Groom someone to take over.
A lot of ifs there.
That's the play with Pete Carroll.
And I also just genuinely don't believe that Pete Carroll. I'd be shocked if Pete Carroll's a head coach anymore next year. Personally, I just don't see it.
He hasn't been head coach for years. He's being a great grandpa.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening.
I mean,
that's really all I have to say about that. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I told you. He needs to be discussed in this situation because he is a legitimate candidate for the head coach job, and he's one of the only ones I'm willing to recognize as an actual contender. That's why I have you put him up there, because everyone else is just noise. He's another one of the only legitimate contenders. So if we're talking head coaches, Pete Carroll's name's
He's
in.
not legitimate contender. He's just
Yes.
a guy. He's just a guy that you like more.
No.
Next up, things that aren't going to happen. That's not going to happen. Is Cliff Kingsbury.
He's the other guy, the only other legitimate guy that I would even consider for this job. These are the four guys that are the only ones who should be on the list.
Okay, Cliff Kingsbury is the worst of both worlds. He is a failed head coach and a coordinator.
Agreed.
It's the worst of both worlds from your criteria.
But they're boys. This is a hire for
They're
Caleb.
like barely boys.
This is a hire for
He wasn't even the offensive coordinator of USC.
This is a hire for Caleb.
He was like some passing coordinator BS.
I'm gonna say it one more time. This is a hire for Caleb. That's the only way you bring him in. and he's actually been a head coach. You learn from your mistakes. I'm a firm believer in that. Like the greatest life lesson I've ever learned is that I make a ton of mistakes, but the thing I try to do best is not make that same mistake again. So hopefully he learned, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hopefully he learned from his mistakes and he gets another opportunity. He's the last on the list for a reason. It goes Mike McCarthy, Ben Johnson, Pete Carroll, Cliff Kingsbury. That is my order. That is the ranking.
If we get Cliff Kingsbury, I'm ready to go 4-13 next year.
Fine.
Just calling it right now. All right.
And then the next year we'll go 13-4.
No.
Yeah, no.
Next year we'll go
Okay.
2-15 in polls, and Cliff Kingsbury will be fired.
Hang on. Is he a great grandfather? I did want to see this if he's got.
Pete Carroll probably is.
He's got to be pretty damn close, right?
Yeah.
Personal life, I don't know. All right, those are my coaches. That's all I got.
How did this happen? Okay. So that's the situation with the Chicago Bears. Obviously, we have lots to say about it. Quickly, want to do a rundown of this weekend's games.
Yeah.
So first one, apropos, Commanders and Tampa Bay.
Do you want to go in order?
No, let's just go.
Okay.
Let's go what we got up here.
That's fine.
So just really quickly, Jaden Daniels looked pretty good. I didn't catch all of this game. I didn't see the Doink field goal at the end.
Yeah, I did.
But
Jaden Gonzalez.
Jaden is a good combination of being able to move all over the place and also deliver some strikes.
You know, Jaden Daniels gives me a lot of like C.J. Stroud vibes. Honestly, like I thought they had from the standpoint of being like a rookie quarterback going in on the road, winning your first playoff game. I literally was like,
I think he beat a better team than CJ did last year and this year.
the Browns. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that I really thought the Bucks were really like I was very high on the Bucks. I thought they were a great team.
You did.
I love Baker Mayfield. It's been well documented my love for Baker. He had the boys buzzing, and like it's unfortunate that they lost. And like it was a great game. This is probably the best game of the weekend in my opinion.
It would have been more fun to I'd see Baker go far, honestly,
dude.
and it would have been vindicating from a Caleb Williams standpoint to see Jaden Daniels have some
Agreed.
issues. But unfortunately, it looks really good. Can you imagine if you won a Super Bowl? I mean, it's too early for us to be having that conversation. One more win, and we're going to have to. Has a rookie starting quarterback, ever won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think Ben Roethlisberger did.
Was he a rookie?
I'm almost positive.
I don't think he won the Super Bowl that year.
I'm on it.
Rookie, you're on it?
Yeah. I'm on it.
I don't think he won that year.
No, it is no.
No rookie
The
quarterback.
number of guys who made it close: Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Flacco, and Mark Sanchez.
How close?
They both earned
Did they start?
but their quest for the trophy ended at the AFC or NFC.
Yeah, so no rookie quarterback started in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get there, honestly.
How many? He needs 2 more wins to get there.
Yeah, I think who's his matchup this weekend?
It is.
Is it Lions?
It's the Lions.
That's a tough.
because they're the 7th seed.
That's a very tough draw, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
At Detroit, I mean, should be a good game. I'm looking forward to that game. That one should be good. But yeah, no.
I think Jaden Daniels in a dome could wreak some havoc on Detroit, but
This was by far the best game. Honestly, Baker's going to be great next year. Mike Evans is the thing of consistency. White, their rookie running back too, looks great. Defense, like I think Tampa Bay is going nowhere. They have firm control over the NFC South.
that's true. That's what I will say. But I think
Yeah.
I think that the Tampa Bay is poised for a drop off sooner or later.
But they're in the NFC South,
That's
the
true.
worst division in football.
That is true, and that division is not getting any better.
Washington moved on. Jaden Daniels, I don't wish him success next week.
All right. So Bills.
Another blowout.
Bills Broncos, but Broncos scored first.
They did. That was crazy. And our buddy Marcus was like, the Broncos may win it just for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
And then like literally you turn the page and
Yeah.
like, I mean, the Bills are arguably the best team in the NFL. Like they're great. Next week they're facing off against the Ravens, who we'll talk about next. And it sucks that we have to see them in the divisional rounds because like losing that game is gonna be like called an outcast. Here, let me say it this way: winner of that game gets the MVP.
But isn't it on the merits of the regular season? At least it should be.
Then have them vote at the.
I was gonna say,
have them vote at the end of the regular
You
season.
would think that. But
Don't
no,
have them vote.
You're right.
The week before
that is probably what will happen.
Yeah.
What I am excited about and I really don't want to see the Chiefs make it, but I would be really this pathway to the AFC Championship, assuming that the Chiefs don't blow it against who did they play?
They have a nice little layup matchup, if you will. They are playing the Texans.
The Texans. Not a layup, and you never know. Coming off a bye week, you never know how teams going to respond.
At KC, Andy Reid's going to have those boys.
It'd be really, really fun to the AFC Championship being Chiefs Ravens or Bills Chiefs. I think that'll be fun. That'll be a fun matchup.
The NFL's got to be pumped because that's 2 weeks. The AFC side of the picture is just like
a lot of star power in the AFC.
Just what the NFL wants.
Which I think the NFC. I think the NFC has some better teams.
No.
I guess maybe not.
The NFC North are frauds.
Yeah, I know. That's what it seems to be.
Josh Allen looks great. It's also the Bills get it at home too, which I lean towards the Bills for that game. Honestly.
So we'll see. I wonder if it's going to be like a snowing mess. I wonder who that would favor.
The Bills.
Yeah, we'll see.
You don't think so?
Probably.
Derrick Henry actually plays very well.
I was going to say it could be.
Yeah, real ground and pound.
And I don't know how Lamar runs in the snow, but it could be either way.
It's going to be a good game.
Next up, sorry, forgot to get a picture up for this one, but Ravens, Steelers, what are we going to say about that one? Is, the Ravens had this begin. It was 21-0 at halftime.
The over didn't hit. That's all I'm going to say on that.
It didn't hit?
It didn't hit. Honestly, I didn't see the full game either. I saw Justin Fields came in for a few plays. Obviously, Russ has got good stats.
I mean, these are garbage time stats, honestly, but I'm not seeing...
Najee, look at Najee, 6 carries for 17 yards.
I mean, it's game script. But Derrick Henry, 26 carries, 186 yards. Holy hell.
The thing was so it was funny because the Ravens game was on Prime and that happened Saturday, and Lamar had a great performance, looked amazing, looked great, and I was like, oh no. And then when I saw the Broncos scored first, I was like, wow, Lamar's gonna win MVP for sure now. And then where's Josh Allen go out, have an even better game after that. So like I said, next week winner wins the MVP of that, and I'm super excited for that. Steelers, like we said, if Tomlin gets fired, I mean, just write him the check tomorrow.
Do you think Russell Wilson's the starting quarterback of the Steelers next year?
Good question.
Still bargain bin? It's funny because at the beginning of this year, my catchphrase was just what is the plan in Pittsburgh? Yeah. And you know what? They made it to a playoff game.
I was going to say, I bet you he comes back next year.
Yeah.
I bet you he does.
Next up, warming my heart, especially after the comments I left on a commenter on a different reel. Yeah. I'm always super jealous that the Packers get to play one more game than the Bears do every year.
Yeah.
And it came to fruition this year. Jordan Love looked bad, just
exposed.
all exposed. Yeah. But not even exposed, because that's Jordan Love's MO. He's a gunslinger. He's gonna chuck some interceptions, and they could not. And you know what? They had 3 turnovers in the first half. It was still only a 10-point game, and I really thought the second half maybe they clean it up, and it didn't happen.
Say what you want about week 18 not meaning anything, and the Bears playing the backups. I think they fucked with their mojo. I think they fucked with their heads a little bit, and I think they kind of got them down, and momentum means a lot more than you think.
Losing a game like that,
these are human beings too. I forget that sometimes that they're not just video game players that you can trade and plug and play. There's chemistry, there's feelings, there's emotions.
Or at the very least, you had to play a team for 4 quarters and you got beat up doing it in the process. So I mean, that probably that wear and tear. Even if we're not talking about the mentals, the physical aspect.
Do you have the stats up for Barkley, because he is just fucking, every time he touches the ball, he's just an absolute maniac. Barkley is so good. I just can't believe it, honestly. And so another fun thing too, I'll give you an abbreviated version. So in our fantasy league, we have a transaction fee, and then half the money goes to the person who has the most points, doesn't make the playoffs. The other half, we make a bet as a team, as a group. All 12 of us need to vote. And what we voted on was Eagles -5.5.
Yeah, Eagles to cover.
And they covered.
Yeah.
So now we have a nice little kitty.
We're rolling on to next week.
Roll on to this week, so we're going to determine. So John actually spearheads the voting and everything like that. I actually place the bet. So we're going to have a nice little kitty to play, and hopefully we can roll it to the Super Bowl. I don't know what we're going to do if we win. If we make it that far.
Nice little offseason event, I'm sure.
I think that would be great, wouldn't it? Maybe go to Vegas.
It would be. Vegas, okay, yeah. I don't think we're going to make enough money to send 12 guys to Vegas. Saquon, 25 attempts, 119 yards.
And he had that huge breakaway, and then he just kind of knelt down. But dude, it's awesome when you have a running back like that. I think having a running back, hang on. So I said last week actually that I loved the David Montgomery, the like fire and the lightning and fire thing, but also having a bell cow back. Like people moved away from that a lot. They're like,
But there's a reason for it.
what do you mean?
There's
Move away
a
from?
reason. Yeah, to move away from it. First of all, like only if you guys can do it. You lose that guy, you're screwed.
Fine, but like I mean, look
It's
at the
not
Ravens.
a model anyone's trying to replicate.
But look at the Ravens with Derrick Henry. Like having a guy who
Yeah,
can do that.
if you've got it, then you're solid. But you shouldn't go out there looking for it because like if you fall flat, look at this. Look at the 49ers.
Look at who's the guy from Boise State,
What guy? I don't know.
the running back.
Oof.
Alshon, I want him, is what I'm saying. I think it'd be a great pick. Okay, move on. Talk about next game.
Okay, and then we have the Rams and the Vikings. Has this game even concluded yet?
I'm not
As
sure.
we're recording this on but it's very much.
Yeah,
Sam
it's
Darnold.
over. 27-9 final.
Okay, so that ended up right there.
Yep.
Okay, so
He literally looks scared in that photo, doesn't he?
yeah, so Matt Stafford looked great. He handled the pressure of the Vikings so well. Darnold got sacked. I keep doing that. Darnold got sacked 6 times in the first half.
Do you know what's funny? Sam Bradford played for both teams too. The
these teams?
St. Louis Rams and the Minnesota Vikings.
I just keep on wanting to call Sam Darnold Sam Bradford. But what will happen to Darnold next year?
He'll probably get a contract. He earned himself a contract.
I mean, but the narrative that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman kept on bringing up is, or I guess maybe it wasn't them. I guess it was probably the halftime crew. He's failed in 2 big time games, back-to-back weeks. That being said, I think the offensive line looked really bad. But how much more are you going to get out of Sam Darnold? What team do you think is a logical landing spot for him?
Well, Oakland,
Yeah.
New Orleans, really any of these middle tiering teams. Like honestly, like anywhere you need a hold of it. Jets, back to the Jets. I mean,
I think the Jets will roll back with Rodgers again.
Probably.
Yeah.
I know.
But no, I think it's reasonable for the Saints and you mean Oakland, Las Vegas.
Vegas, sorry.
Who else is out there?
Giants.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. There are people out there. So, yeah, I think Sam Darnold will find a spot. It'll be interesting to see whether or not the Vikings want to continue to roll with him. I mean, hell, they went 14 and now 4. But
The other thing, too, is that, like, I like your insight last week that you said was that, like, money line's the only thing that matters in
Yeah.
the playoffs. Okay? So, like, spreads don't mean crap anymore, right? So, like, but during the regular season, like, it's almost nice to have 18 weeks of hope.
yeah.
Like, you know, Sam Darnold may be able to give you 18 weeks of hope.
Yeah, I mean.
Only to crash and burn in the playoffs. Fine, whatever. But at least with Kirk Cousins, you got 18 weeks of hope. As
Yeah.
long as it wasn't a primetime game.
Yeah, and we at the beginning of the year, I think I'm on record of saying at the beginning of the year, like I don't know how the NFC is going to shake out, except for I'm pretty sure the Vikings are going to be in last place, and they weren't.
I think we were both on record saying that.
Yes.
The other
So
thing,
they
NFC
overachieved. Maybe you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Maybe you give J.J. McCarthy another year to learn under the system and then figure it out.
NFC North frauds? I don't know. We'll see. Both of them
The
got
Lions
rolled.
better show up against Jaden.
Or maybe the Bears, because the Bears almost beat all these teams.
Which team? We beat the Rams. We've almost beaten the Vikings.
I'd say we almost beat the Vikings, we almost beat Detroit, and we beat Green Bay.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying, Johnny.
That's like an even weaker transitive property than they normally do. Well, the Bears beat the Rams, and the Rams beat the
I know.
And then the last game of the week, Chargers and Texans.
Which was actually the first game of the week.
First game of the week. C.J. Stroud, another playoff win under his belt.
I took Texans in this game actually. I not because of CJ Stroud, just because I thought the aura around Jim Harbaugh was people just thought it was him and they were gonna win it, but the team sucks.
Yeah.
They don't suck. They're just not. They're not a playoff team yet. They're still a year or two away.
Justin Herbert just looked bad.
But dude, who's he throwing the ball to?
That is true.
Lamb McConkey is
Yeah.
it. He's got no one else. Remember, they lost Keenan Allen. He lost Mike Williams. He lost Gerald Everett. Like he lost all of his weapons.
I mean, that's fair.
Will Disley,
But he had 4 interceptions, man.
dog. Will Disley, T. Fisk.
McConkey had 197 yards. Wow,
I mean,
man.
that's all he's got.
Yeah, Chark attack. That's fair.
DJ Chark.
I guess maybe you can't throw away Justin Herbert, but the conversation can be had that he just has not been there. But 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions.
Do you remember
14 for 32.
Do you remember before the season we talked about the potential trade for Justin Herbert?
No. What
It
did
was
we
like
say?
2 first round, like 2 or
Or what
3.
we would take for him?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not out on him. I think there was a period of time like 2 or 3 years ago where we thought he was going to make that step right along with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it just hasn't happened. But you're right. I don't think he's got a ton here. Like looking at these names, I think it's fair to say like there's probably a lot to be desired here.
And he's got the old Baltimore Ravens running backs with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards.
So went 9-26.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah, and CJ Stroud, 22 for 33, 282, 1-1. Pretty solid day.
Super solid.
Yep. So that's some interesting storylines here, and it'll be an interesting offseason, honestly, with like some of these things, like a lot of teams that looking to make the next step, and their window is closing, and what they decide to shake things up.
Bears' window is still wide open, which is why this head coaching job, getting it right, is so imperative.
For as bad, we're close to rock bottom, and then you can make the argument that we're in a worse place than we were last year, but I wouldn't. I still think that Caleb Williams is the guy. We've still got draft capital. We've got cap space. We can go out and make a splash move. Ryan Poles is going to be GMing for his life this offseason. So we'll see.
Are you more invigorated that they won in the Packers?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I think if we were sitting here with an 11-game losing streak, I think I'd feel a lot more like a loser doing this podcast.
Dude, yeah, I know. I feel a lot better now, too.
Yeah.
Like, it was honestly, that win meant a lot more.
It's just a monkey off the back. We said it last week. Like, the Bears lost 3 draft spots from winning that game.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter.
Just like the fact that we're on a 1-game winning streak. We are 1-0 in 2025. The Packers are 0-2. The Vikings are 0-2.
Yep.
And we'll see what the Lions do next week.
Undefeated in 2025. Let's go.
So, I mean, let's say the Lions lose next week. You got 3 organizations who thought they were pretty good. Maybe you see them hit the panic button and make some pretty hasty moves in the offseason. So I want the Lions. The Lions are my sentimental pick. They're who I'm rooting for going forward. But it'd be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah.
Like, just introduce a little bit of chaos in the NFC North with 3 teams who thought they were great, losing in the first round. Angry fan bases, angry owners.
At least they played one more game.
They did.
That's all I'm going to say. At least
they sure did. You know what? And there's something to that. I'm not going to be an actual hater. I'm just trolling.
I could totally feel the troll.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's all I've got for this week.
Yeah.
If you're still watching, you're a real one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Who are you pulling for going forward? Who is your head coaching pick? Obviously, we've got some pretty conflicting opinions here. Kevin, anything to leave us with?
No. Let's go.
Bear down. Peace.
Nice. How do we do?
47 minutes. That's good.